What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions video, and we are going over the new Frontline WOTV FFBE number 4 that just got released, talking about all this quality of life we've been looking forward to, including finally the ability to turn off and on abilities for our characters, making our bricked characters not be so bricked anymore. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so if you were unaware or haven't been, or new to the game, or haven't been paying attention to these, what War of the Visions likes to do, which I really like, is outline kind of the changes, the big updates we're going to be getting very soon, and then talk about some that are coming in the distant future. So, very excited about a lot of them that we're going to be talking about today. The first one being a big update to auto repeat. And what they're going to allow us to do, and you guys can see in this picture, is that we're going to be able to change kind of some of our repeat settings. If you guys have played 7 Deadly Sins, it kind of has that vibe going to it, but I think even a little bit better here, as we can actually choose the like acquired items that we want to get. So if you look here, we can do unlimited repeats. If you just want your thing to run like it did before, just set it to unlimited repeats, and we're going to be able to do it like that. Next up is number of repeats. So if you have an actual number of repeats that, let's say you only want to run this dungeon 20 times with your energy pots or your energy, you can set it to 20 times, and it actually tells you, as you can see in this picture here, this example, it tells you how much energy it's going to cost to run it for that amount of times. The next part you can do is acquire items. So if you're looking for a specific number of job orbs or awakening materials or maybe even recipes, you can find the item here. I'm assuming you click this little plus right here, pick the item, and then you can pick how many of that item you want to try to farm for, so you can really set and personalize and not overspend or underspend on an item you're trying to obtain, right? If you're just like, hey, I need this many of this item, I don't care how much energy it costs, just keep it running. That way you know that your game isn't going to overspend, but when you come back to it, when it comes off auto, you're going to have the item that you want, which is great. You can also see that it used to be like I used to do, and I'm sure you guys are doing, you add up to like 999 energy, use as many pots as you can, let that run out, you come back, you reload back up. Well, as you can see, we have the auto energy restore use, which means that as long as you have that on, it's going to keep using energy pots and giving you that energy. So even past 999 energy, it's going to keep restoring that, which is great for people who just want to be farming all the time on auto. Then it actually says max number of recoveries. So you can set up to how many of the recovery pots you want. It looks like it only goes up to 20 at maximum here. 20 large pots would be great. Restores energy automatically when energy runs out during repeats. Energy will only be restored with energy restores, so it won't use your Visior. Energy restores will be consumed starting from the largest amount. That's what I thought. So it'll use your largest ones first and then trickle on down to the lower ones as well. So, and you do have a limit on that depending on your VIP rank, which we have a kind of a surprise here about the VIP rank here in a little bit. Next up, they talk about something that every unit has needed in this game. This game has needed so badly from release, is the ability to turn abilities on and abilities off. And it, as you can see, we can do that for each individual customized thing: quest, multi-duel, guild battle, and even the tower. So when the tower comes back, we're going to be able to do it there. So it's going to help all those bricked characters out. A lot of your Ayakas were casting Protect when you didn't want to. A lot of the Fravias out there really needed this to get going, to be strong like they want to be. My Rain was sadly bricked because I learned Firaga, and for some reason the auto Rain Firaga likes to cast it on a spot and not a unit, so when they move out of that, but you know what I'm getting at. A lot of the units are like this. So now we can customize our units to play with our max abilities that we want, to use the TP abilities that we want if we make them readily available, and really get down to how we want to customize our units and how we want them to play in the auto fight. So this is going to change PvP and Guild Wars in a big way, obviously. I'm sure there's still going to be some AI hiccups as we move through, but this is going to help us customize our fights even more. It's going to be really difficult to say, you know, what abilities to turn off for which unit, because it depends on what team comp you're in, how you want to play them. I'm sure there's going to be generalized guides out there talking about it, but for me, it's going to be very personalized on what I plan to attack and what I'm gonna, you know, plan to use on that party and what kind of vision cards, etc. So it does get kind of deep, but this just helps us be able to do that a little bit better, and it is a huge change that we've actually needed for a long time. So very excited about that. It's going to be something we have to work around with as a community and learn more about and customize to what we want. So next up, we have energy saving mode, which is just going to be a mode that helps you save battery life, I guess, when you're autoing, when you're playing the game. Really just something the game needed. To make sure we're not burning our batteries when we don't have them plugged in to be able to, or we're using an emulator, but, you know, to save a little bit of battery life while you're autoing. Raid improvements. Now, I know I haven't talked about this a lot on my channel. I have on my Twitch. I am not a fan of the raids at all. I haven't done one of the raids to full you know, power or going all the way up the levels at all since release. I think the raid system is actually really bad. They are adding some improvements here, but as you can see, once you read them, in my opinion, they don't really get down to the nitty gritty of what's wrong with raids. I think raids take too many button presses, too much babysitting, and then they also expect you to do the same grind you were doing for, like, let's say some of these weapon events, but you have to stay on the game all day, right? It's not like you just come in, do your 5 raid orbs, and every hour you do another raid orb. No, you have to sit there and babysit your game for 70 levels or more. I know a lot of you guys out there are getting up to 100, 150, or you're just grinding other people's, but at the same time, you still have to do a ton of them. And that just doesn't seem good to me. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel rewarding either. The raid rewards to me don't feel that rewarding. The Warrior of Light was a nice change with his, you know, the +4, if you got up to, I think it was 70 some, you got his +4 of his equipment, which is really great. That's a nice change. They need to change it even more. If you look here, it just talks about room settings are now easier to change and host rewards are being changed. So maybe that'll help a little bit out with making it feel better. But overall, having to go to somewhere where you're trying to farm maybe for like job materials, clicking it, running it once, then getting a raid prompt, clicking that, clicking into the raid prompt, going in and fighting the raid, coming out, claiming the rewards, clicking out of that. As you can see, this sounds monotonous just me talking about it. You probably don't want me to go on and on. Several more button clicks there just to get through one raid and then get back to what you were farming. I don't know what they were thinking, and I don't know what kind of improvements will be coming in the future. I do know that in JP, they have a way you can store some of your raid attempts, so you can spawn a few bosses, I think, and then fight them all at once. That looks like a pretty good change to what I'm talking about. We'll have to see in the future how they change raids going on. Additional improvement features, unit screen improvements. We can finally see how much our units have defense and spirit wise without having to add it up through all of their passives and their equipment, which is going to be great. Units level list display improvement, so it can show you, you know, what level out of what your unit is. So if they're level 25 out of 30 as it shows, it'll actually show that on the unit instead of just showing it being level 25. It's a very nice little change there to make sure you can keep up on your units a little bit easier instead of having to go through the menus and kind of find out where they are through the unit, the unit's actual menu, you know, where you can look at your unit to see what their level is out of what they can do. Battle improvements, addition of auto formation options. So you're going to have more auto formation options to go through, along with auto set equipment types like vision cards and espers, which is great. I've always liked the fact that if I put a unit into a party, they get their equipment that I have saved to them personally, which is great on time saving when you're building a party or putting someone into the arena for the week or something like that. So any improvements to that's going to be great. Guild battle and arena battle improvements. Previously, the skip button, they're still talking about the skip button. I feel like they've been talking about that for a while and it hasn't been fixed, where you can just click it instead of like you constantly doing a battle with the game trying to catch the skip button real quick. So hopefully this makes it work actually, and the skip button's on display all the time. So if you do want to skip your arena or your guild battle, you can hurry up and click it instead of like I said, fighting against the units doing their animations, trying to click skip before it ends up kicking you out. A reverse lookup screen transition improvement just means that, you know, if you click on a menu, you go to another menu to find something out, or maybe go to a battle, when you hit back, it should be taking you back to where you were, the original screen, instead of being sent back to like some other screen that you weren't even on in the first place, essentially is what it's talking about there. Equipment item enhancement screen improvements. Player can now transition from the equipment item enhancement screen to awakening in a single tap. Honestly, some of these changes I wish would come to FFBE, like when you're leveling a unit up and then you reach max level, you wish you could just click awaken on the screen instead of having to go back out and then click awaken units in the menu. My FFBE players understand. This will help you guys out with just feeling good about the game, and that's what quality of life is all about, making sure that the game runs smoothly for you. Other improvements, they just talk about changing some of the UI, improvements to the tutorial, and then they get into future updates. And then this is what's really good, is that they do talk about things that are coming. So all of these changes are great, going to make the game feel better, but now they're going to talk about some things coming out that may be new content for you guys, which we need in my opinion, and I'm excited about. So there's going to be a new event where point quests where players' actions during battle will affect the points they earn. Maximum damage dealt, number of chains will affect the points you earn, and wonderful rewards can be acquired based on accumulated points and final total. So it kind of gives me a vibe of like, it's not going to be dark visions from FFBE, but there is going to be a little of that mixed into there. I'm excited to see what this new event is all about and try it out with you guys. It does seem like it's not just going to be an auto forever event, and hopefully it's, I'm not saying it's like a one and done event, but it's something that you can get done, improve on, and you don't have to grind endlessly, because I think this game has too many grind endlessly you know, missions or events, and the Porcelain Tower is one that wasn't like that, and I feel like that was very well received by the community. They had a lot of fun figuring out the challenges, doing them one time, getting the rewards and getting out, where every other week just seems like a grind fest endlessly. to the points where people are just getting a little upset with doing that every week. A hard quest, a feature will be added that allows players to bookmark specific unit hard quests and save them to a list, so that way you don't have to keep going in and clicking all the menus again to get to that hard quest. If you're working on a few units and their shards, hopefully you can save them. That's what it sounds like, and just have this menu where you can be like, okay, I'm going to do that shard, and that hard quest, and be done for the day. So that's something it looks like it's adding. Multi-quest, a feature will be added to notify players of their turn via a vibration function. That's great, because if you have somebody taking forever on their turn in multiplayer, you kind of put your phone down, at least it'll vibrate, kind of give you a heads up that it is your turn, so you don't miss your turn and make other people wait on you. That's going to be pretty good. AI improvements. When the AI is able to defeat an enemy unit, it will prioritize skills with no casting time, so just get the job done quicker, and select skills with the lowest AP cost, so that way they're not wasting AP. They're just getting the job done, and essentially this is just what should have been in the game anyway, just making sure that the AI knows the best possible skill to use at the lowest cost and the quickest way to get it done. Hopefully they add that soon. Match battles, class matches, addition of auto feature, 2x mode can now be toggled regardless of royal rank. So we have class matches here, addition of auto feature in the match battles, which is going to be something some people are going to use. You know, the match battle, you're supposed to be able to go in and just use your units not autoing, but some people do want to auto through that. They're going to add that in there for you guys, so you could be getting those rewards if you don't want to sit through there and click on everything that you're doing. They're also adding a 2x mode, can now be toggled regardless of royal rank. I call it VIP rank, royal rank. So everybody's getting 2x now, apparently. So, hey, if you did grind all the way up there, grind. If you did spend money to get the 2x mode, well, now it's just going to be given to everyone regardless, which I don't care. The more the merrier. Get in here, farm at 2x rank. It was something that was like kind of off-putting to a lot of players in the beginning. I tried to explain how it wasn't that big of a deal, and I'm glad the game just gave it to everybody anyway. That way people don't feel left out, and everybody gets to farm at the same rate, and we can just have fun, and nobody feels left out, which is good for not spending. Other improvements that will be coming in the future, it looks like feature for reverse lookup of items from crafting recipes, which is good. And then they say, so there you have it. Our team is constantly reading through your inquiries, social media posts, and contributions. Essentially, they're going to be reading what you guys say, what you guys want, the feedback, and try to make changes for that in the future. Overall, huge change. Like, these are huge changes. With the auto repeat feature, it's going to change how you play the game, how you auto, make sure you get what you want faster without overspending or underspending. And then the ability selection mode is going to change the meta entirely, making some units that were kind of poopy before way better, and making some way better units even more way better, because they're not using some abilities you don't want. And you can finally see your units use some abilities that you always wanted them to use, but the AI wouldn't. It's really going to be something crazy, guys, something really to look into, customize, trial and error, and really get your units down. This is a big change that's going to change the game forever. Obviously, it didn't JP, and it will here too. So if you guys are going to be purchasing anything in the game, Vizio or wise, you should be using Amazon coins. In the link in the description below, I have a link to a specific link. You have to use mine to get a big deal, so you're going to be getting even more savings only by using my link. 20% off the $100 bundle, and 20% off the $50 bundle as well. Normally you don't get that kind of percentages off unless you buy the Big Daddy $500 bundle, so that's the way you guys can save. I've been using Amazon coins in this game, FFBE forever. If you are an FFBE person looking forward to Neovisions, the link should be working for you as well. You just buy the coins and spend them on whatever you want. And I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I know my War of the Visions videos have been kind of a little bit lean, a little bit, you know, every so often recently, but it's not. I play the game every day. I do my Guild Wars every day. There just hasn't been anything too exciting in the game for me to be covering, and I've kind of been holding on to my acorns, waiting on something like this to happen, where the game's going to be changing in a really big way. So good luck to everybody out there that did summon for Diablo. I'm not, but if you did, or you're going to continue summoning, hope you get it this coming up time that you click that summon button. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below which ability selection, you know, the ability selection, which units are going to change for you and how they're going to change your gameplay. I'm curious to see what units you guys are looking forward to using now that you can turn off abilities and make them a little bit better. Subscribe for future content. Catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ClaicYuzolt, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.